Tuesday. It's the day Tuesday. Yes, it is, man. It's the end of the June almost, right? Boy, time is flying. I don't know about you, but man, the days just snapping by faster and faster, right? So we really need to make sure we're paying attention to what we talk about on this show. And welcome to Conversations with Geoff. If you're a first-time visitor, thanks for stopping in. I ask you to grab a seat, relax, right, and take some notes. Make sure you tell us where you're from. If you're from LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, IG, whatever platform you are. And then, man, all I ask is you show us some love with our guests that we bring in here. I mean, they're here to serve. They're seeking out a message that sharing their experiences, their strength, and their hope with you so that you too can change that stinking thinking. Ooh, you know that smelling thing you wake up with every morning. We talk about it a lot, right? That stinking thinking that holds you back, that limiting belief that holds you back, that self-destructive behavior that follows that thinking, all those things, man, I get excited because the outcome of paying attention, becoming aware of this conversation that you're having with yourself about yourself, ends up with some tremendous results over time, right? Hey, listen, we all can do it. We all have that opportunity. And so I encourage you to share this, subscribe to this information, set the bell up notifications so you won't miss any more episodes. And please go back and check out some of the other episodes. We've had all types of guests in here sharing from different perspectives. Our whole purpose at Conversations with Geoff is really kind of three categories: relationships, health, and wealth. And that community is all throughout that stuff, man. And we believe that, close out the chatter going on outside the world. Focus on the things that you can control, which is this space between your head, right? And the choices that follow that and the energy that comes from or is taken away from that conversation, right? I mean, all kinds of things can happen if we just pay attention, take some extra steps, do something different. And my name, for those of you who don't know, my name is Geoff Tyson, and I am known as the comeback king because my story takes me through the peaks and the valleys, the ups and downs in sports and in business and relationships, and now most recently health, right? I mean, I've got something going on with health now, and I mentioned it a little bit. I'm going to be okay, but I'm dealing with the prostate issue, and in July we're going to take care of that. So I've got some stinking thinking sometimes, man, that comes up, right? Some of those things, some of the things that they don't end up well for people. They end up wearing a diaper the rest of their life, so they end up losing some other qualities of life that are important for a healthy guy like me and a happily married man. So I mean, it shows up. So I got to practice this. That's what I'm telling you, man. Right? I got to surround myself with people that understand what I'm going through. I surround myself with people that have been through it before and can give me some suggestions. And then I have to do some work on myself as well, man. So it happens. So don't be discouraged here, right? And if I could, we had a chance to my wife and I, to keep our grandkids last week. I think I mentioned a little bit of it. And there's three of them. They're 2, 5, and 13. And they are all on fire in different ways, right? And I just sit back and I watch the mind of a child, right? And the attitude of a child. And they wake up and just on fire. They want to learn things. They're bright-eyed. They're asking questions. There's no limitations around fear, right? I mean, they have some discipline, and you have to give them those things. But I mean, really, there's no doesn't stop. My grandson, he is the king of no's, baby. Oh man, that boy probably gets about 50 no's sometimes of something that he really wants. Just relentless. So I thought to myself, man, when did I lose that? What did it take for me to regain that type of tenacity? What was it that I wanted? That I would stand in the face of no's 100 times until I got what I wanted? And what's thinking that I have to do in order to get there? So I challenge you, how many times will it take for you to get past the no? For you to get over some fears? For you to face that negative message that's going on and do something different? So we had a great time, and I wanted to share that message because, I said it last week, let's begin to live our lives through the eyes of the babes, that child imagination, right? Because it's going to take that level of energy to make an impact in your life. It's just thoughts, choices, words, energy, body movement, all that stuff comes together, man. It makes a big difference. I could talk about this forever, but you guys, I got to get to our speaker because I had a couple of minutes to talk to her. I just met her today for the first time officially, man, and just, a dynamite soul. And so I don't want to hold her up too long. Let me get to where I can get her information and excuse me. Gotta tell you guys something. I had a little crazy incident. I mean, I'll get back to it, but it was crazy. But I'm okay now. But she is. I'm gonna let her tell us a little bit about her, and then hear a message that she's going to share right from the get go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet someone I believe is going to really drop some significant power here today. My new friend, our next guest of Conversations with Geoff, Laura Jane Layton. Let's bring her on here, baby. Yep. There she is. What's up, Laura?
Well, hello. It's just a beautiful day. I just love the weather, and my favorite thing is to talk to people. So I'm so excited.
You're in the right place. Yeah, we want to hear what you have to say today too, because that's the community that's here to support you and give you an opportunity to show us a little bit about Laura, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Do you want me to take it on?
Yeah. Go ahead with it.
All right. One of the things I mentioned to you just before is that I loved your name, the Comeback King, and I just think that that's so powerful because I know how much strength it takes to come back. And my goal in life is to share the message so loud and clear that people don't have to come back. Like, let's catch it before it gets too late. So there was a day that I woke up in the hospital bed and I was like, how did it get to this? How did I get to the point where I no longer could walk? They took my driver's license away. All these things is like, oh my gosh, what is life going to be like? And it was time to change. And I started reflecting and doing all that self reflection and realized I was being a bully to myself constantly. I was pushing way behind what anybody should ever push until I just lost it. When I started waking up in the morning instead of being excited to go to work, that I felt like, oh, I just want to stay in bed 30 more minutes. And then it just kept going and going. And you go, life isn't worth this. And I didn't change it until it went too far. And so my goal is, what can we do as people to start being our own best friend? Start talking to ourselves like you would a best friend. You don't laugh at your best friend when they fall down. You're not embarrassed. You help them up. But we sit there and go, oh my gosh, I fell down. Oh my gosh, so everybody's going to think I'm dumb. And we beat ourselves up. Or crap, I did something wrong in a meeting, or I spelled something wrong and a memo went out wrong. And we think about it forever. And we don't need to do that. We just need to change the words inside of us so that we start being, trying to think of the right word, kind of that energizer, that person who supports us instead of holds us back. And like one of the things is like, I'm still trying to prove my 6th grade teacher wrong, that I was never going to amount to something. And I'm still pushing and pushing and pushing. And you know what? He's probably not even alive anymore, but why do I even care? Why does it matter that somebody told me I was never gonna be anything? Or that kid that made fun of your teeth, and so now you never show your teeth. There's things that they weren't even a bully. They were just a kid trying to get attention, and we play it over and over and over, and guess who the bully is? I am. And so until you can start changing that, you're just lost in this cycle of never being good enough. And so one of the things that I have is a podcast, and the part that I'm most proud of is my Monday episodes. So my Monday episodes are a challenge, and we give you one word. and you get a week to practice it before we go on to another word, because sometimes it takes time to
Yeah.
make some adjustments inside of us. So,
Yeah.
like, one of the first things is stop saying sorry.
Mm.
When we were kids, it was a shame. You were shamed into
Yeah.
saying sorry.
Yeah.
If you're late for a meeting, it's thank you for waiting for me, not
Yeah.
sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
It's like, if you are late for a meeting and they didn't wait, thank you for getting started without me. You feel that gratitude instead of the shame. And so that's kind of like, just each week we just pick one new one. And it's like, I could tell you a whole bunch of them, but they would take all day because I have a list a mile long.
Wow, yeah, because everybody does too, right? And you're talking about something. If I may, my granddaughter, she's in that space. Well, I'm sorry. I'm saying, whoa, 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 whoa. So we sit down and we talk about where that came from for her, right? What makes you feel like you have to be sorry before you even, you know, anything even happens? That's the first thing that comes out of her mouth sometimes. And so we've talked about what you said. Say, instead of that, you would say, hey, well, thank you, or say, excuse me, or can I help? Something other than that, because it's the shame driven.
Yes, and I used to say it to the wall. Like, the wall didn't care, but I ran into it and said sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, the statement I'm going to make is not chauvinistic. It's just statistics, and I think it's part of the female culture. To my experience and some of the reading I've seen, that there was a place where I'm sorry was expected rather than having a voice. And I'm pro women, baby. So I'm all about the power of the female. So don't take anything I just shared. But man, I'm so glad to hear you're talking about this on your podcast and your word. So what was the word for the week last week? You mind sharing? I'm curious.
I could look it up because I have them recorded through October, so I would have
Oh,
to
wow.
go look and say, I don't know,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
could tell you a couple more.
Yes.
One of the ones that I'm really, really passionate, all of them. I'm passionate about all of them. I'll tell you another one, two more that I think I've pretty much mastered, and one I am not mastered, and that I do all the time still.
Oh,
So, one of the other really key ones to me is quit telling people good luck,
mm,
because
mm,
we prepare, we work, we do all these things ahead of time. It's not up to luck. If you saw someone studying for the test, you tell them, "You've got this.
yeah.
I've seen you studying. I know you can do it." Why leave it up to luck?
Yeah.
And so, just
Mm.
little ones like that.
I love
And
that. I
so,
love
another real quick one
it.
is to quit saying, "Don't forget."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it just drives me nuts. The second you say don't, I'm a little tiny child that's getting chastised, and I freeze.
Yeah.
And the rest of the stuff kind of just goes into this back echo.
Yeah.
And so it's like, there's two ways we can fix this. We can say, "Hey, remember the party this weekend?"
Yeah.
Or if we never told anything about it, the person may not have known, there's nothing to remember.
Yeah.
You could say, "Hey, I've got a party going on this weekend. I'd love to have you come." Why say don't forget?
Yeah.
So those are two that I do. Those three that we talked about, I've worked on a long time.
Yeah. I like
Now,
those.
now the one I don't do very well, and I find myself editing it out of all sorts of stuff, is the word just.
Mm.
I
Just,
just came by to say hello.
mm.
Well, why minimize it to a just?
Yeah.
Why not feel the power
Yeah.
that you are giving somebody when you say, "I just" no, "I came by to say hello." I You wanna conversate, you wanna do I think we minimize ourselves and we put ourselves in this little teeny tiny hole, and "I'm just here." No, you are here. You are amazing.
Well, amazing. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
You
so
can.
That's the one I am still working on, and I just like it just comes out. So I try to find like like if I'm gonna say just, and I do mean simply, I
Yeah,
try to change it
yeah, yeah,
because just can mean so many different things other than just this one little thing or this one little thing. So it's just like I'm still working on new words. So it's
and we're all going to have to, right? Because you don't. This is not a science of perfection. It's a science of progression and progress. And an effort to do that. So I love you sharing that. I'm thinking the whole time. My word has been try. I've caught myself saying I'll try. I'm like, where did that come from, right? And then I thought about the people I've been around a little bit, and some of that carrying it over. So you're either going to do it or you're not. And I want to say, people are saying, love that. Hey, Steph and Helen, appreciate you ladies showing up today and showing us some love here because this is a great conversation.
I
So,
think one of the safe reasons we use try
mm,
is we have an out if we don't make it.
yes, exactly.
And you kinda like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to go to the store today, but if I don't go, you can't be mad at me because I
Oh,
only
man. Yeah,
tried."
yeah. It's an out. It's an out. I'll try.
And so and so I do that one also. Like I told you, I have a list a mile long. So,
Oh,
yes, but
man.
try is definitely one that I still occasionally throw out there
Yeah.
because I am really not dedicated or committed to doing it. So I'm just gonna kinda put it in there. Kinda goes along with I don't have time.
Mm,
Wait, you don't have the priority.
there you go.
We all have the time and the money if it becomes that important. Have you ever just spent 140 or $150,000 like that? Well, I did when I went to the hospital. And it was worth every penny, but if you'd have asked me the day before if I had 150,000 extra dollars, I'd have said, "No freaking way.
Right. That's
I
right.
don't have that kind of money to
Right.
just throw out the door."
Yeah.
But because I didn't sit back and take care of myself,
Mm,
it went out the door. And
mm,
so it's like, we have time.
yeah.
So choose to say, like, people will ask me, I'm sure you've got this. People always wanting to help you with your business, all these things that are coming in, all this spam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I try not to, I
Ah,
do.
gotcha. Gotcha.
I have reworded things. I've told people
Mm,
I don't have time right now.
mm,
And I go, wait. I don't have the priority to work on that right now. I have other things on my plate. And
yes.
so trying to be more authentic instead of just this, "Psst, I'm fine. I don't have time. I
Yeah.
don't have the money." It's like I don't have the priority on that right now. I've got other things on my plate.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound so much more empowering?
Well, it is empowering. And the people that are talking to you are like, okay. You know,
Yeah.
and they'll have a different level of respect for it. I mean, it is. So I love that, the empowering piece. I love that. So I'm gonna back you up just a minute. Thank you for
Go
sharing
for it.
too. And this let's talk about because there's people out there that are. You mentioned in some of your information about that workaholic person
Yes.
that got you there, right? And we're all so busy. We're all pushing and we're running. I mean, when you think back, what are some things that maybe you could have done differently that would have kept you from getting there? So other folks out there don't end up, like you said at the beginning, with having to come back. We prevent the comeback. What was
You know, and I think the number one thing I could have done was pushed back just a little.
mm,
I use just again. Push back a little more than I did because I would work till 9, 10 o'clock at night
mm,
and come home exhausted and feeding the kids and getting into bed and getting them out to school, and then going back and doing it again.
wow.
But I could that nobody else told me I had to have it done today, but they gave me something I didn't want to leave. Get comfortable with putting your family first and letting that thing wait till tomorrow. If your kid can wait till tomorrow to see you, Why can't that spreadsheet wait till tomorrow to be done when the boss didn't even ask for it yet? So I think just allowing myself to follow and set realistic deadlines for me instead of always feeling like the faster I do it, the better the boss is gonna like me and I'll be promoted. Yes, I was a vice president. Yes, I made it to the top as much as I wanted, but it was not worth losing my life and my ability to move and my ability to function. And I have only been out of my mobility scooter for 9 months. So and when I say that, it was a climb back to the top,
Mm.
and I, for the first time in my life, accept me just the way I am. And
Cool.
if I was still in that scooter, I would be okay with it because I now am okay with not having that spreadsheet done by the end of the day. By going home at 5 like all of the really young kids in the office.
Uh,
I don't wanna, like, point out any fingers, but there are people that have been raised that your work is not what you dedicate your life to, where my generation, work was first.
yeah,
You make the money, you bring home the bacon, and the family can just wait. And I really would love to learn from those kids that know how to show up late and go home early.
it's a different mentality, and some of that's not wrong. It really isn't. They're choosing to, rather than tie their money up and buying homes, they're choosing to explore the world,
Yeah.
travel and do other things, get cultured, and I can't blame them for that because that's what we're pushing our grandkids through. We share that with our
I
daughters.
think it's great, and they're not gonna end up in the hospital with heart surgery. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, all that pushing. I mean, I hear you. I'm thinking, man, I identified for a long time. My identity was wrapped around my corporate world as well.
Mhm.
That's who I represented on the outside, but the stuff on the inside was killing me. The things that we don't deal with, the things that chatter started with. We were talking before we went on the show about that teacher that told you. I think you said yours was a fifth or sixth grade
Yeah,
teacher.
6th grade teacher, you're never gonna amount to anything. Yeah, though the actual words were, "You will never go to college, and you'll be lucky to graduate from high school."
Yeah, she must have been related to Mrs. Lynch, which was my fourth or fifth grade English teacher. She just said, You're not like the rest of your siblings. They were smart. I don't know how you're gonna make
Oh my gosh. Yes, I've been there too.
it." Ooh, it's and like you said, that message plays it too. But the thing about it though, what's so great is that and you're living proof, we can fix that,
Yes.
right?
I've been off my diabetic medication for 9 months also.
Oh man.
It's like, like, you if you're type 2, not if you're type 1, you can control it through diet. You don't have to take a million pills and injections, you can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
So it really is just when you finally accept yourself
Mm.
and it's okay.
But that self acceptance piece, why don't we just hang in there for just a minute around that? That's so much easier said than
Oh, amen.
done.
Yes, because, we have been with ourselves for every moment of our lives, and we have this amazing craziness that likes to hold on to the negative.
Mm,
Yes, there was a time in our existence or in humanity where you had those things for survival.
yes.
I got burnt, I don't wanna do that again. I got hurt, I don't wanna do that again. But you know what? It's not about survival anymore. We
Yeah.
don't have to replay those things to keep us from being eaten by the lion by staying inside. We don't need to deal with that. So
Yeah.
it's just nice to have full
Mm,
Just content,
yeah,
like not waiting for something external to make you happy.
yeah.
I, you know, I know if you want me to shut up, I will. But I could,
Yeah, no, no. I mean, this is what conversations are different. I mean,
my mission in life is to love people unconditionally to create natural happiness. Now you go, what the heck is that?
yeah,
Do you know what natural happiness is?
mm,
It's when you feel happy without having all these external things to make you happy. That's like the artesian well where the water's just always there and you are you and you're okay with that. It's not like the pump that you have to go out and prime and pump forever. And now I'm happy because the water's coming up. No, it's just there. And anytime you need it, you can just tap into it and you can drink from that artesian happiness. And I just know by allowing people to be themselves and letting them understand that it's just what chatter is going on in our heads, that's what causes us the pain, the anxiety, the depression. It's our brains just in overdrive of focusing on the things that aren't going to propel us
yeah.
and move us forward.
Man, that's so well said and well spoken. Thank you for sharing that. I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking about my own journey, right? And and you said something about self acceptance, and so, folks, when you're out there and when you're listening, and we're really working. You kind of open up something I'll share. We're really working on that stinking thinking. Yes, that's right. That stinking thinking there is out there. But in order to move forward, though, you've got to take a look backwards. You got to look at see what those things were and dig a little deeper and start to peel off the layers of the onion. I'm an onion peeler, right?
Oh, yes.
And I had to peel my life back all the way to I reached that. I talk about it all the time. That 5-year-old boy waiting on the bus stop or at the end of the driveway to get on the bus with his. I used the shirt. I mean, I can see it. Blue shirt, white stripes, and brown pants, and high waters, and shiny shoes, and the Donald Duck lunchbox.
You had it going, babe.
Haircut too, right? I mean, I was all set. But scared to death on the inside already at 5.
Yeah.
Didn't like who it was and the confusion there. So I mean, that's so powerful that we talk about self-acceptance. And thank you for bringing that topic up. Thank you for breathing deeply.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing is these nice cleansing breaths. It just allows your body to settle in and the brain to quiet just a little bit so that we can move forward.
Move forward, and sometimes it's just that alone, but then it's about breathing in peace, prosperity, and achievements, and exhaling out anxieties, worry, and fears, right? I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many things that we can do to do that. So I like people to know how to get a hold of you. I mean, time is just flying again, and you've done such a great job sharing your experiences and stuff. So how do people get a hold of you, Laura? And is there anything you like on your podcast? What can you tell us?
It is so easy to find me. It doesn't matter what social media you're on. It doesn't matter where you're at. Just look up Laura Jane Layton. My website's laurajanelayton.com. My Facebook's Laura Jane Layton. My show is The Laura Jane Layton Show. So if all you remember that and you do a search, you'll find it.
So it's laurajanelayton.com.
hmm
Okay, we'll drop that in the chat there and say that. So what made you, just a quick question, what made you do the podcast? What pushed you to do
You know, I am not, I've always been an introvert
that?
and
Yeah.
I love to hide behind the walls and behind the mic.
Okay.
So I have so many people that love the word switching up that I've done for years and helped people go through. Like I had my last boss would come in, Jane, I need some coaching. I'm going to a board meeting. I need some, and it's like, okay, let me help you out with some of your word choices and how to present this.
Nice.
And I just decided that, see, I did it again. I decided that, I do have a passion for this, and why not share it?
Yeah.
And so there I did it again. So it took me 3 months
Mm.
to go from, okay, I want to do this, to getting the planning, the scheduling, and everything done into going live. So the podcast's only been live for 5-ish weeks.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I'm doing 3 episodes a week.
Nice.
First one's the Monday's the challenge. The Wednesday is just me going into any of the kind of stuff that I just will go off on my own. And then my Friday ones are um, interview episodes with other people that have all these tools that I can learn from too.
Yeah.
And so we just share with the world how to be your own best friend.
Wow. I love that. And I'm going to make sure I put your podcast on my viewing schedule because I love what we've had the opportunity to interact on and talk about in the short
Yeah.
time that we've had. So as we kind of wind down, Laura, and you dropped so many things. I mean, I've got notes on here. Waking up in the hospital to pushing back and putting self first and family first and really kind of finding some peace. I hear in your message and in your voice, you're finding peace in your world, right? And that stuff. So well, how would you like to wrap us up? What's the thought that you could leave us for today?
I would say if you're not putting yourself first,
Mm,
no matter where you're at in life, it's time.
mm,
And that doesn't mean being rude to people. That doesn't mean ignoring other people's needs. That means putting your mask on first.
mm,
And then now that you have what you need to stay strong, you can help others.
mm.
So until we have our own personal strength to take care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to help others. And my goal is to help others. So I first help myself.
Yeah, it's okay to be selfish about self
Hmm.
when the end game is to get yourself lined up so that you can then reach out and help other people and be that voice, be that message, be that tool for folks. And your podcast is going to have a big impact with people. It's particularly if it's about what we've been talking about.
That's all it's about.
Yeah, yeah. So I will definitely dial that up, Laura. I will tell you, man, it's been fun. But all good things must come to an end.
Yes. And thank you so much for having me. This has been fun. And I was very nervous about going live, but it worked.
You did. You were a champion. I told you from the beginning that you just show up and let's just chat, and that's what we do. And I've got a page full of notes that I'm going to go back and encourage people to do the same thing. Hearing this message. So, Laura, listen, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, and keep pushing, my friend. Keep pushing.
I will. You too.
Oh yeah. All right. Hey, so listen, man, go back and replay this. I always say that, but I mean it because there's so many things that she shared and that we talked about. All the way from ending up in a place where she didn't really take care of herself to being able to understand the things that she needs to do now. All those little adjustments that she made that you can make right now. I mean, the whole thing about picking a word and working on that word, and we talk about different words. Make your list of words. What are they? Always pick one, but make your list, and then begin to make some changes around those things, right? Because we all have. She talked about the 2 million-year-old brain. It was designed to keep the dinosaurs from eating us all the way to now we understand the power it has. So we can take control of our thoughts. Our choices change. Our energy level changes, our belief in ourselves changes, and listen, it goes from I can to I can. It goes from maybe to I will. It goes so I think so to I know, right? The power of I am, guys. Let's get this thing done, man. Let's get stepping into what's going on in this world. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have in front of you. Don't let your own thinking be the reason why you don't take it to the next level. So I thank you all. I thank you. And oh, forgot to mention to you that if you're looking for an opportunity to be an affiliate or a sponsor, we're still interviewing for folks in that space. And as a keynote speaker, I have the message around the comeback king, and then we speak to business owners on that have gone through ups and downs in that space with COVID. Maybe just need some help, some direction, some clarity. Hit that reset button, get recharged, and come back better than they were before. We've got some messaging around that, and if you're really trying to figure out this whole self-acceptance piece, I put my email in the chat. Hit me up and say, hey, Geoff, I need to talk. And let's begin to journey together. And you too can be part of the comeback people, the comeback community, and your comeback trail. Or, as Laura said, keep you from having to come back. Catch it before it crashes. Gotta go. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. See you on the next episode, Conversations with Geoff. Take care.